No one saw this coming. It looks like the San Diego Padres wound up signing an all-star caliber pitcher in the offseason, and it flew at least under my radar. Not necessarily the signing of Nick Pivetta, but the impact. I don't think any of us saw just the year he was bound to have or is in the process of having. What's going on, everybody? I'm Christian Pedersen, back with another episode of Padres Digest. Happy baseball season. This is the point of the show where I interrupt really quickly just to say, can you hit the subscribe button? It would be much appreciated. All right, let's talk some baseball. Nick Pivetta, let me show you the numbers just to set up the context for everything that I want to say going forward, because maybe you're just a better baseball analyst than me. Maybe you know more about it. You have a better gut feel for it. Maybe I'm just also not that smart. But I did not see Nick Pivetta as anything other than a Band-Aid on our back end of our pitching rotation this season. I did not see this. Here on our left, we have last season's numbers, this season's numbers, career numbers, so you can get a look at what Pivetta is doing in comparison to last year, and it's safe to say that that is a massive improvement, which can be quantified by all sorts of things. You can say that going from a 10 ERA to a 6 ERA is a massive improvement, but what we've got right here, combined with, we'll run through it here. Let me show you a pair of strikeouts here in his most recent outing as of us recording this. He went 7 against the Detroit Tigers, showing you that he's using, this is the breaking ball that he locates incredibly well. But the big thing to me has been this right here. It's the ability to also have a pinpoint fastball. And it's not necessarily going to break the radar gun, but this guy is finding the spots this year, absolutely slicing and dicing. And to go, at least on my radar, from somebody who is like, okay, like I said, he's the 4. Maybe the 3, knowing that some people are going to come and go. We're comfortable with it. But nobody was talking about this guy being an ace. Nobody was talking about this guy being the dude. And yet you look at those numbers. We'll pull the season numbers back up. We'll get to that in just a second right there. Here's the season numbers. But let's talk about it, because we'll get to this tweet here from Sammy Levitt. If you remove the one frigid Chicago start that he had, where he went 3 innings, gave up 3 runs, those are his numbers this year. Now, I don't know about you guys, and this is entirely in just my record books, but I think that all pitchers are due a mulligan. Not that you want to completely remove it, but think about it, like a lot of times throughout school, teachers will be like, all right, you get one bad test, we'll throw that out, we'll throw out the high, like grading on a curve kind of vibes involve that you throw out some high and some low, and you look for where a guy sits at in terms of his average, who he is. So maybe you take out the best one also, and we might be at too small of a sample size to do both ends of it, but for this tweet, if you give him a mulligan and you start talking about that, that's where you get to where my thing of those are all-star numbers. Okay, maybe he's going to have some regression. Maybe he's going to have some more bad days. Maybe he really isn't this guy, like a sub-1 ERA. But I cannot stress enough how his stuff is much more about execution of the stuff than it is in any way, shape, and form about the that use, like I said, of the changeups in the zone, the big sweeping curves in the zone, the 93, 96 mile an hour fastballs in the zone. Like, the dude, obviously, I'm not saying he's some putz that can only rely on like science and philosophy. Like, he does not have 101 with an 82 freaking breaking, sweeping cease type of thing. He doesn't have the signature filth that King has. He just is a guy that approaches pitching in a very proactive and awesomely Like let's force the batters here to get after us and see what they can get. I also look at this tweet here from Jesse Agler. He went 3 times. He went 7 innings 3 times with Boston last year. And that was on a pretty full year of starts. He did not do back-in service rotation. 3 times 7 innings last year. He's now already done that in only 5 starts this year. I think when you combine guy whose numbers are fantastic with guy whose stuff is hittable but is being used so well that it is becoming overwhelming to hitters. You have a guy that this to me shows, like, maybe if it was one of those positives, you'd be like, all right, cool, he's having a better year. He's having a trending upward year. He's having a whatever year. This, though, to me feels like breakout year. This to me feels like, yes, there will potentially be other bad days, like I said, but this feels like he is moving up an echelon in terms of the caliber of pitcher who he is, at least for this season. And what is life but the here and the now? So that's where I think we get to a month or 2 from now. It would not be unrealistic if his numbers are even in this ballpark to have him in that conversation, given that he will probably have best numbers on this team. And a team that, if he is doing that and we are continuing the trend outwards of what we've done through the first 20-plus games, is very much in contention, not only in this division, but in the incredibly loaded National League. And that's where I think that nobody saw that level coming. And if you did, drop a comment. Let me know. Hit me up. You guys have been a great supportive community, and you've also been never shy. And I love it. I love hearing the feedback, but never shy on the letting me know when and where I'm being an idiot. So maybe I just completely did not evaluate Pivetta and his potential contribution to the Padres correctly, but I am absolutely glad and happy to say that I did not see this coming. I did not see this level of locked-in domination coming from Nick Pivetta this season, and I am loving it. I am all here for it. Let me drop you the numbers one more time just to show, like, through 5 starts is having a fantastic season. Maybe even has elevated himself to would be a cool jersey. Given that this might be a flash of the pan season or a cool little run of a couple years, go get yourself a Pivetta jersey. Let me know if you think that he's jersey, maybe a Temu version of his jersey for $25 or something like that. Not a full MLB grade one, but I think he has elevated himself to that status already. So fans, let's get to endorse him and like him, because part of that All-Star game will be fan voting. So we need to get the love and vibes out there for him in the community. Let me know, though, like I said, what you think. If you could hit the subscribe button, it would be great. We got a bunch of other content coming all season long as I ride emotionally shotgun with you throughout the 2025 campaign for the Padres. We'll talk to you guys soon.